white kids and we're maids and housekeepers and all of these beauticians that don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
what we come up against. It's like you
Yeah.
said, the respectability politics that we're always pushing up against, which at the end of the day, what we are facing and what we are oppressed again, it doesn't matter how well you speak, it doesn't matter how well you walk, it doesn't matter how well you do anything. If somebody's going to not like you, they're going to not like you, period.
Right.
So holding ourselves to these unbelievable standards that stop us from being able to tell our true stories and connect to one another, it only, like you said, puts us in a personal hell and doesn't allow us to really be all that we're meant to be because we're too busy trying to fit into somebody else's idea.
Listen, what I always say is don't worry about being in somebody's box because when you die, they're going to put you in one. So you may as well just live your life outside of a box.
Ooh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Viral. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on Viral. We talk about actor, director, entrepreneur Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has received criticism about his work from a lot of folks saying that he needs to hire more writers in his storylines because some people feel like his storylines are not the same old playbook over and over again. But we'll get to it in a minute. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Viral here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on Viral as we talk about actor, entrepreneur Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry receiving criticism for a lot of people about his work. And Tyler Perry shut down those critics when he appeared on Keke Palmer's podcast. And here's what he had to say.
2 years now, I brought in writers' rooms, and we've had them on the sitcoms, but now I brought them in on the other shows. I've trained enough young directors to be able to understand how to edit and shoot, so they're able to do a huge page count like I can. I trained them how to watch for waste and time. So now I'm at a place in my life where I'm going, okay, I've got it. I've set that up. They're doing great. I can let them take it. I'm completely fine with stepping back. You know, all of these shows are over 100 episodes. So the characters are developed. I've written all of that. You guys take it and run with it. So I'm at a really good place now. But it's very important to know when to let go. Like for me, I realized at this age is that if I keep holding on to the little things, then it's missing the huge opportunities that I should be focusing on. So you've got to find the right people to take up the banner and run with those areas.
And I love how you're talking about the system that you've created with TP Studios of just being able to train people in your way because you have a particular way. When I see something that Tyler Perry presents, I know what I'm going to get as a fan that has been a fan for all of these decades. When it comes to your craft and your style, how much of that your choice to own was to also be able to control your creativity with the projects and not allow other people to take it? Yeah.
Well, that's ownership for me. It's everything, the creativity of it, what's put on screen, how it goes, and so on and so forth. And early on, I was taking a lot of heat because, this was wrong and that was wrong, but people didn't understand that I didn't have the budgets that everybody else had. And what is important about that, hear me clearly because when I would do a show, the first thing I do is go buy a camera, go buy a light, go buy this. We're renting, how much did we spend renting this stuff? Buy it. So I started buying all of this stuff and buying all these equipment. So now when I'm doing a movie, I'm renting it to myself for the movies.
Tyler, I think it's so important that you're saying what you're saying because I think this is also why a lot of people never get their projects off the ground because they're expecting everything to be perfect and they're not understanding that ownership and doing it on your own and having the independence of starting and finishing something, whether it's perfect or not, it's going to guide you to get to that next level and to continue to perfect it over time. But when you are owning it and when you are having it, it is yours. So yes, it's pivotal. It's a key piece here to say, yeah, okay, maybe this was off, maybe that was that, but I own it. And me being able to do all that stuff is what allowed me to be able to invest in this big studio. If I was trying to just go all over here and there and doing more than what I could maintain myself, then I would not be able to be where I'm at now. I'm so happy you said that.
Listen, I've seen some incredibly brilliant, amazing films. I've seen some young writers and directors do some stuff. I go, wow. And I've seen it make crazy amounts of money. But then I look at what they made and I go, it crushes me. Because my thought is, why not write something this brilliant but smaller and get your budget, own it, and then license it to the bigger companies and make that money, and it lives forever coming back to you. Don't just go in and sell your soul because they think, this is how it is. No, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Yeah.
And don't think that you have to start already having it all together. I think that's an important thing. Just start with what you have.
Do the best with what you have. Do the absolute best you can with what you have. Take the heat, take the hits, and keep getting better and better and better and better. And the great thing about my audience, man, is that they have been with me from day one going, Tyler, you need to fix this. Tyler, that was good. Tyler, we love that. Oh, he getting better now. Y'all watch.
Never allowed that criticism to stop you from being able to have your authentic voice as an artist, because it does get really difficult.
Yeah, but what? No. You got to drown all of that out, because if you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because for everyone who is a critic, I have thousands of used to be emails from people saying, this changed my life. Oh my God, you know me. Oh my God, you saw me. How did you know this about my life, my family? So that is what is important to me. We're talking a large portion of my fans who are disenfranchised, who cannot
right.
get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend.
That's
So
right.
you've got this highbrow Negro who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. And then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like, whose mothers and who were caregivers for
I love that.
white kids and were maids and housekeepers and all of these beauticians. That don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
what we come up against. It's like you
Yeah.
said, the respectability politics that we're always pushing up against, which at the end of the day, what we are facing and what we are oppressed again, it doesn't matter how well you speak, it doesn't matter how well you walk, it doesn't matter how well you do anything. If somebody's going to not like you, they're going to not like you, period.
Right.
So holding ourselves to these unbelievable standards that stop us from being able to tell our true stories and connect to one another, it only, like you said, puts us in a personal hell and doesn't allow us to really be all that we're meant to be, because we're too busy trying to fit into somebody else's idea.
Listen, what I always say is don't worry about being in somebody's box, because when you die, they're going to put you in one. So you may as well just live your life outside of a box.
Ooh.
Tyler Perry is saying that he relates to everyday people. He relates to people that believes in him, and he doesn't care to. He chooses to ignore folks that criticize his work, because some people are saying that he takes the same playbook over and over again and uses the same storyline over and over again. And people are saying they are kind of catching on to Tyler Perry on what he's saying, but Tyler Perry dismisses that and feels like he knows what he's doing best. Well, Tyler Perry may have a point, but a lot of people are pointing out to the fact that with recent movies, including Netflix Medicopa starring Kelly Rowland, starring this recent movie Divorced in the Black with Megan Good, it's the same old woman in distress storyline that she had to get herself out of her own situation. So it's kind of like some people are making some sense about it. So, hey, you know how that is. Well, let's hear what you people had to say. You people had a lot to say about this situation. Let's hear what you said on what the people say.
People have with Tyler Perry is that he doesn't outsource enough or bring in enough writers, producers to help him to come up with other ideas. And I think that's where the issue lies with a lot of people who have a lot to say about Tyler Perry and his movies. Personally, I don't have an issue with Tyler Perry and his movies. The only one that I wasn't a fan of was Mia Copa. I did like Divorced in the Black, and it's unfortunate that it got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, because I personally thought that he had better quality actors. I will give him that. He is starting to pay these actors what they should be paid, versus if they go to anywhere else in Hollywood, they wouldn't get that same amount. So I do commend him for doing that. Tyler Perry has a target audience, and I don't think it's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just like creating content. We know who we want to talk to. However, I do feel like Tyler Perry, I would like for him to bring in more talented writers and producers to just give like a different experience than the ones he's always talking about. And I think that's just the issue that people have, is that why does it always have to be this one storyline when it comes to black women, when it comes to black men? So that's just my opinion on that. But I do appreciate Tyler Perry for paying actors what they are worth. But I personally would like to see him bring in more people, bring in the talent, because there's a lot of talent out there. So I think
criticism. So we know he just dropped a new movie. It is called Divorce in the Black, and it's been receiving mixed reviews. And
like
people
everything.
Like everything else. And people often criticize Tyler Perry for consistently creating projects with the same storyline. So during the episode of Keke Palmer's podcast, she commended him for never changing his artistry despite all the criticism. And this is what he said.
If you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because for everyone who is a critic, I have thousands of used to be emails from people saying, this changed my life. Oh my God, you know me. Oh my God, you saw me. How did you know this about my life, my family? A large portion of my fans who are disenfranchised, who cannot get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend. So you've got this highbrow Negro who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. And then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like. Don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit.
That's
right.
That's right. He's absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with changing and evolving if you want to, but don't force anybody to make you be something that you're not. Because Tyler Perry is consistent. He's just like your favorite restaurant or your favorite store that you shop at. You know that when you go there, when you go to Target, you know what you're gonna get. You know when you go to Chick-fil-A, you know what you're gonna get. He's consistent, and it works.
And people support him. That's the thing.
Right.
People support him. It's not like nobody watches his movies. It's not like he catches bricks. People support his movies and they love his movies. So
Exactly. If he want to keep making black people hurt movies, then let him keep doing it. We know we're gonna get, like you said, in Target. We know.
That's
we
his
know
way.
the prices are a bit higher.
Yeah,
we know that.
That's his way of storytelling. That's
Period.
That's all.
And that's just what it is. But when Tyler Perry start cussing, that means all right now. All right now.
Stop playing with him.
That means they get out of here with that bullish. Like I said.
Point do we say enough is enough, Tyler Perry? At what point do we say we will not watch these films anymore until you hire some writers?
What the fuck is this? Like, really, Tyler Perry? How do you have a $1 billion production company, a whole fucking studio lot, and this is the type of shit that you are making?
I'm tired of the same stereotypes. I'm tired of the gospel interludes. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Such a shame to see this man who is so capable of doing so great, just not doing it.
For all of us who love you, who are pulling for you, who want you to have success, okay? You have to have a writer's room, because I can't give you another 2 hours. I simply cannot give you another 2 hours.
Fascinating that Tyler Perry, instead of accepting critique and commentary to improve and evolve as a filmmaker, his deflection point is always like, well, the uppity Negroes don't get it. Which I feel like is problematic, because your audience is also not enjoying the most recent work you have put out, and is also implying that your audience doesn't have critical thinking skills when they do. Aside from this, a huge part of film and being a filmmaker is critique and collaboration. Two things that Tyler Perry openly rejects. He writes everything, produces everything, directs everything, and he also does it in an insane amount of time. Everything shot in one take. He brags about usually filming things within under a week, writing things within under a week, and we can tell the lack of research, the lack of time, it shows. And the criticism is coming from people who want to see you grow. Because at the end of the day, if we stop watching your stuff, you will no longer be a billionaire. I find it very fascinating that Tyler...
Like I said, majority of y'all criticized the movie and felt like the movie didn't live up to the hype. And Tyler Perry, hey, you gotta take criticism. Criticism comes along with the territory sometimes, but that doesn't mean that you can improve yourself. Tyler Perry promised that he's gonna hire writers so he can dismiss this claim, and some people will go on about their way. But I think some people are just that. They want something new, fresh, innovative from Tyler Perry, not the same old woman in distress situation. So hopefully Tyler Perry would take heed, this being constructive criticism, not a bad criticism at his part, because he is a successful story from rags to riches, and nothing against the man. You know, the man has done it all, hired more black people, African Americans in work in all divisions. So kudos to Tyler Perry, but you know, hey, it's just constructive criticism. Just take it like that. Everyone get constructive criticism. Even I get constructive criticism. It's just to help you improve yourself and get better. But hey, some folks don't want to take that. Thank you all for watching this edition of Viral. I've been your host, Kendra Dick, saying thank you for watching. We'll see you next time for another edition of Viral.